Good evening. This is All India Radio and I am Nishit Kumar with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi stresses on role of education system and institutions in shaping bright future of India. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Centre asks all states and union territories to ensure regular supply of medical oxygen for COVID pandemic management. President and Vice President greet people on the eve of Christmas. IMD predicts severe cold conditions to continue in northern India for the next 3 days. And in cricket, India 100 runs away from winning the second and the final test match against Bangladesh in Dhaka. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today emphasized the role of education system and educational institutions in shaping the bright future of India. Mr. Modi said India is moving at a fast pace to develop the education infrastructure and policies at every level in the Azadi Ka Amrit Kal. Mr. Modi was addressing the 75th Amrit Mahotsav of Shri Swaminarayan Gurukul Rajkot Sansthan being held in Gujarat through video conferencing.
आज देश में बड़े शैक्षिक संस्थानों आईआईटी, ट्रिपल आईटी, आईआईएम, एम्स जैसे संस्थानों की संख्या में बड़ी वृद्धि हो रही है। 2014 के बाद से मेडिकल कॉलेजों की संख्या में 65% से ज्यादा की बढ़ोतरी हुई है। नई राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति के जरिए देश पहली बार उस शिक्षा व्यवस्था को तैयार कर रहा है जो फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग है, फ्यूचरिस्टिक है।
Mr. Modi emphasized the importance of saints in the journey of next 25 years.
अमृतकाल की अगले 25 वर्षों की यात्रा में आप संतों का आशीर्वाद और आप सभी का साथ बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। आज भारत में और भारत के संकल्प भी नए हैं, उन संकल्पों की सिद्धि के प्रयास भी नए हैं। आज देश डिजिटल इंडिया, आत्मनिर्भर भारत, वोकल फॉर लोकल, हर जिले में 75 अमृत सरोवरों का निर्माण, एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत के विजन को लेकर आगे बढ़ रहा है।
The Prime Minister asserted that everyone's effort in these projects of social transformation will impact the lives of crores of people. Mr. Modi also highlighted the gender equality and sensitivity of the Indian ancient Gurukul system and lauded Swaminarayan Gurukul for starting Kanya Gurukul. The Prime Minister urged the students of Gurukul to travel to Northeast India for a minimum of 15 days and connect with the people to further strengthen the nation. Our correspondent reports that the 5-day Amrit Mahotsav celebrations were inaugurated by Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel in Rajkot on Thursday. A large number of saints, spiritual leaders and devotees are taking part in the celebrations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people of the country and abroad in the Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. It will be the 96th episode of the monthly radio program. The program will be broadcast on the entire network of All India Radio and Doordarshan, AIR News website and News on AIR mobile app. It will also be live streamed on the YouTube channels of the AIR News, DD News, PMO and Information and Broadcasting Ministry. AIR will broadcast the program in regional languages immediately after the Hindi broadcast. The Prime Minister has shared this with people, a booklet based on the last month's episode of Mann Ki Baat. Sharing it on social media platforms, Mr. Modi said, the e-book contains interesting write-ups on topics such as India's G20 presidency, continued strides in space, rise in exports of musical instruments, and more. The government has written to all states and union territories to ensure a functional and regular supply of medical oxygen for COVID-19 pandemic management. The Health Ministry has asked all states and union territories to direct all the concerned departments to ensure the availability of liquid medical oxygen in the health facilities. It also directed states to ensure that supply chain for the refilling is uninterrupted. It said inventory of oxygen cylinders must be ensured and backup stocks and robust refilling system should be maintained. Availability of functional life support equipment such as ventilators along with their consumables must also be ensured. The Union Health Ministry has also asked the states and union territories to hold mock drill at all health facilities on Tuesday. In a letter to Additional Chief Secretary, Principal Secretary and Secretary Health of all the states and union territories, the Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan said the objective of this exercise is to ensure operational readiness of these health facilities for management of COVID. Air passengers arriving from China, Japan, South Korea, Hong Kong and Thailand will undergo mandatory RT-PCR test for COVID. Talking to a news agency, Health Minister Mansukh Mandaviya today said the Air Suvidha portal will be implemented for passengers arriving from these countries in view of the rising cases of COVID in China.
जिस तरह से चीन में कोरोना महामारी की भयानकता हम देख रहे हैं, उसको देखते हुए चीन, जापान, दक्षिण कोरिया, हांगकांग, बैंकॉक सभी से आने वाली फ्लाइट पर हम एविएशन मिनिस्ट्री के साथ बातचीत करके तुरंत ही एयर सुविधा पोर्टल का इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करके सभी पैसेंजर को आरटीपीसीआर कंपलसरी करेंगे, उसका ट्रेसिंग करना चालू कर देंगे और इंडिया में आने के बाद किसी को बुखार मालूम पड़े या तो टेस्ट पॉजिटिव पाया जाए तो तुरंत ही हम उसको क्वारंटाइन करने के लिए भी आदेश जारी करने जा रहे हैं ताकि देश को कोविड महामारी के सामने हम बचा सके.
Both the Houses of Parliament, which adjourned sine die on Friday, have been prorogued by President Draupadi Murmu. The Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha were adjourned sine die yesterday, 6 days ahead of the schedule of the winter session, which had commenced on the 7th of this month. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
उत्तर पूर्व अद्भुत, रोमांचक और मनोहारी, उसकी छटा को समेटती पूर्वोत्तर डायरी, जिसके पन्ने खुलेंगे रविवार शाम 5:30 बजे. पहली कड़ी 25 दिसंबर, पहल हमारी पूर्वोत्तर डायरी.
Welcome back. Consumer Affairs Minister Piyush Goyal has emphasized that consumer empowerment is going to be a paramount feature of a developed India. He called for keeping consumers at the center of all initiatives. The minister said this while addressing a function organized to celebrate National Consumers Day in New Delhi today. Referring to the theme, effective disposal of cases in consumer commissions, the minister said it resonates with the approach of the government, which is based on ensuring speedy justice not only to consumers but to the nation at large.
Within this short span of 6 months, we've already doubled the disposal to nearly 90,000 in this 6 months to make it easier both to do business and for our consumers to make life easier, make ease of living is a focus area that all of us are working. A number of redundant laws, over 1,500 laws have been removed from the statute. Nearly 39,000 compliances have been simplified.
The National Investigation Agency today conducted searches at 14 different locations in Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir and Delhi in a terror case. The investigation agency in a statement said that the case relates to terror activities of chiefs and members of proscribed terrorist organizations including Khalistan Liberation Force, Babbar Khalsa International, International Sikh Youth Federation among others. During the searches, incriminating materials including digital devices and documents have been seized by the agency. In the run-up to the Army Day 2023, Indian Army formations and units located in various states including Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, Telangana, Tamil Nadu and Gujarat undertook a massive blood donation campaign today. Blood donation camps were organized in all major cities as well as remote areas across 10 states in the Southern Command area. Ministry of Defence in a statement said that it was organized under the theme Donate Blood, Save Lives to commemorate the forthcoming 75th Army Day on 15th of January. 7,500 units of blood were collected through voluntary donation and a data bank of 75,000 volunteers was compiled. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar today called for collective action from all nations to tackle the massive challenges of climate change and environmental degradation. Expressing concern over reckless exploitation of natural resources, the Vice President said that human species cannot take the planet as its exclusive privilege. Mr. Dhankar was interacting with probationers of the 2021 batch of the Indian Forest Service at the Parliament House complex. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated Sitiveni Rabuka on his election as the Prime Minister of Fiji. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said that he looks forward to working together to further strengthen the close and long-standing relations between India and Fiji. The President and the Vice President have greeted the people on the eve of Christmas, marking the birth of Jesus Christ. In a message, President Draupadi Murmu said, "This festival is a symbol of peace and brotherhood for the entire mankind." She appealed to the people to take a pledge to adopt the divine teachings of Jesus Christ in their lives. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar in his message said, "Jesus Christ showed the path of love, empathy and kindness that make our lives virtuous and bring tolerance and harmony in society, which may eventually lead to lasting peace in the world." India Meteorological Department IMD has said cold wave to severe cold wave conditions will continue in northern India for the next 3 days. IMD predicted continuation of dense to very dense fog in Punjab, Haryana and Chandigarh tomorrow morning, while Himachal Pradesh, Delhi, Bihar, West Bengal, Sikkim, Odisha, Assam and Tripura will witness dense fog in isolated pockets in the early hours tomorrow. In the Kashmir Valley, the temperature is continuously dipping below the freezing point. A report from our Srinagar correspondent.
With the beginning of Chilai Kalan on December 21, a 40-day period of intense cold weather, all parts of the Kashmir Valley are witnessing severe cold conditions. As per the Srinagar unit of the Met Department, the minimum temperature recorded in Srinagar was -5.4 degrees Celsius, while the lowest temperature of -6.8 degrees Celsius was recorded at the famous tourist destination Pahalgam. The continuous dip in temperature has led to freezing of several parts of the Dal Lake in Srinagar. In view of the prevailing cold conditions, the doctors have advised the elderly and children against venturing outdoors during early mornings and late evenings. For AIR News, this is Ishfaq Shah from Srinagar.
Our Delhi correspondent reports cold wave conditions have intensified in the national capital region, bringing down temperatures below normal. The maximum temperature was today recorded at 20 degrees Celsius, 1 degree below the normal, while the minimum temperature settled at 5.4 degrees Celsius, 3 degrees below the normal. The weatherman predicted a partly cloudy sky with moderate fog in the morning hours. Meanwhile, IMD has warned of heavy rainfall at isolated places in south coastal Tamil Nadu, South Kerala and Lakshadweep Islands for the next 2 days. It also advised fishermen not to venture into the southwest Bay of Bengal and along and off Sri Lanka coast on the 24th and 25th of December. As parts of India reel under biting cold weather, several parts of the United States and Canada are witnessing a winter storm for Christmas. Some 200 million Americans are feeling the icy grip of a massive storm, resulting in at least 19 deaths ahead of the holiday weekend. More than 1.5 million people are facing power cuts, while thousands of flights were cancelled yesterday. Heavy snowfall has been forecast in the areas of Pennsylvania, Michigan, Buffalo and New York. The U.S. National Weather Service reported 0-mile visibility there and posted videos of whiteout conditions. A bomb cyclone, when atmospheric pressure plummets, has brought blizzard conditions to the Great Lakes on the U.S.-Canada border. In Canada, Ontario and Quebec are bearing the brunt of the Arctic blast, with power cuts for hundreds of thousands. Much of the rest of the country, from British Columbia to Newfoundland, are under extreme cold and winter storm warnings. In cricket, India were 100 runs away from win against Bangladesh in the second and the final test match in Dhaka. Chasing a target of 145 runs, the visitors were 45 for 4 at stumps in the second innings on day 3. Earlier, the hosts were all out for 231 runs, taking a lead of 144 runs after resuming their second innings at the overnight score of 7 for no loss. Yesterday, India were all out for 314 in reply to Bangladesh's score of 227 runs in their first innings. India is leading the series 1-0 after winning the Chattogram Test by 188 runs. Brazilian soccer legend Pele's health has worsened as he now requires greater care due to progression of his cancer. According to hospital authorities, the 82-year-old Pele was admitted to hospital on the 29th of last month for a respiratory infection and re-evaluation of the chemotherapy treatment over the colon cancer identified in September last year. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi stresses on role of education system and institutions in shaping bright future of India. Prime Minister to share his thoughts in Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Centre asks all states and union territories to ensure regular supply of medical oxygen for COVID pandemic management. President and Vice President greet people on the eve of Christmas. IMD predicts severe cold conditions to continue in northern India for the next 3 days. And in cricket, India 100 runs away from winning the second and the final test match against Bangladesh in Dhaka. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And that's all in the news at 9. Good night.